Welcome to the chat where the deals get done. Real estate tips and a whole lot of fun. Think different, achieve your goals. Real estate simplified, that's how we roll.
Hey everyone, good morning. Brandon Rizek here along with my partner and friend and broker of Reside Realty, Mike Cruz.
Good morning.
We're here, it's towards the end of September. God, it's September 24th, 2025. I think that's the right date.
I think so.
That's where I'm at. We're here to have a good discussion about some of the do's and don'ts, and not just buying and selling real estate, but also when you get your loan. A lot of the unspoken things that maybe you should just have a good idea of what to do and who to put trust in and what to say. So I'm looking forward to this, especially on the finance side. Before we get into it, Mike.
Yeah, on the physical home side, there's a lot too.
There's a lot.
Just going to talk about the market real quick. Buyers, buyers, buyers. Calling all buyers. If you've been waiting, sellers, they're ready to sell.
They're ready.
There are incentives out there. They are dropping prices. It's not 2009. Don't get crazy. But sellers are definitely motivated. I was actually at a networking event yesterday, and that was the theme: is sellers are ready to move. They're ready to get realistic on their price and get the home sold.
Every contract I've probably seen, I don't want to say every one of them, but I'll say 80 to 90% of the contracts I've seen have had some kind of concession.
Right.
Not major numbers off of the list price, but major concessions. So they kind of work out. I think that the agents and the loan officers and everybody's doing a real good job in holding the price points, but getting the incentives.
I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more off the price point as well.
Well, and let the buyer take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
The way I see it. Good markets, bad markets, median markets. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So buyers, if you're out there, you've been thinking of buying, great time. Rates aren't as low as they might have been a week or two ago, but they're still good.
They're still holding. Rates since the Fed drop of 25 basis points last week. As mentioned, as expected, they have trickled up a tiny bit. Not a lot, but a tiny bit. We've probably lost an eighth or so, maybe a quarter off of the actual, average rate, which is expected. And it's just because, when you expect a Fed rate drop, or you see bad news in the economy, people pull their money out of the stock market and they buy the bonds and they buy the bonds and they buy the treasuries. Well, mortgage and finance rates are based on mortgage rates, especially on the 10-year treasury. So when more people buy it, the more it goes down. Now, when the Fed lowered rates, and they mentioned that they're going to, basically give their quantitative easing, where they're looking at it and plan to lower rates again. People are jumping out of the bonds because they expect the market to get better. So now they're selling off their treasuries and buying back into stocks and whatever else. So that is what happens almost every time. It is normal. It is expected. Everything, just to touch base one last time from last week's podcast, is everything is going to be data driven. If employment numbers come out strong,
right,
it's less likely to see more cuts from the Fed. If data, employment, the PCI PPI, inflation data come out looking worse off, then you're going to towards a weaker economy. Then you're going to see rates go down. I mean, it's just that simple. So. Okay. Right now, they're pretty flat. Next October 3rd, I believe, is the date, next Friday, and we're going to have a jobs report, and interest rates are going to depend on that. So,
all right. So with that said, we'll get into it about the do's and don'ts of buying and selling.
Absolutely. What's best? Let's talk about selling first.
Yes,
you good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right, because I think that's a lot of people right now are trying to sell, and they're motivated. So let's touch on it.
So when you want to sell, people want to get their home ready to sell. Always, and I always stress this, but you want to make sure it's clean, all that good stuff. But when you're making improvements to the home,
paint the door.
Paint the front
Sorry,
door.
I remember you told me
Paint
that.
the
The
front
It was like
door.
our second podcast
Yes.
we did. You mentioned
Yeah,
that.
paint
Anyway,
the front door.
I lost your topic. I'm sorry.
You're good. But don't over upgrade. Most people, they don't appreciate it, or they might want to come in and do their own upgrades. And they're not willing to pay for the beautiful upgrades you've done. And,
Well, here's an example. Cut you off, but this is a huge example to me. I was looking at a home, and the seller was so proud of this home, and it was nice, but it was all gray.
right,
And to me, gray is very depressing. And I know there was a time, I mean, this is going back about 8-10 years ago, where gray was a thing.
okay, I'm going to stop you now. You're absolutely right. If you're out there, you're getting your home ready to sell, and we are here in late 2025 at this point, gray is gone, guys. I'm sorry. Do not.
That was a quick window little fad there.
Yes, yeah.
People are tired of being depressed.
Yes, yeah. People, they're going back. They want to see some color. Seeing a little bit of the beiges. I'm personally not real keen on the beiges that were
The earth
real
tones
popular.
are out, yeah.
But I'm seeing a little bit of that. But people tend to like those over the grays.
I'm seeing, in what I see, I'm seeing a lot of creams,
Yes.
blues,
Blues are definitely
greens,
in. Yeah.
and gold is back, guys. Gold is way back.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
right.
Not more brushed gold, but
Right.
it
Yeah,
is
not
back.
brass. Definitely not brass.
Not the old shiny gold from the 80s and 90s, 70s.
But yeah,
you know,
the brushed gold is definitely in.
That's in. But I'm also seeing, believe it or not, something that we joke about maybe in our somewhat
Uh-huh.
generation is wallpaper.
Yeah. Well,
Wallpaper is coming back.
and I'll tell you, model homes have really never stopped
Yeah.
using wallpaper.
But they would put a texture on there.
well,
or
right, yeah, it'd be
something,
a
right.
textured wallpaper.
Right.
But definitely seeing more and more of that over the last year or two, and it's pricey, but people like it.
But to get back, I mean, the reason we bring these colors up and some of these things is these are dues. These are go neutral. Go into some of the more popular colors that'll withstand the test of time, so to say. Where somebody can walk in, if they don't like it, they can still vision. It's very
Right.
hard to see a brown wall or a gray wall and vision.
Exactly. Well, here, there's apps now that you can literally stand in the house, take a picture of it, and it'll give you swatches of different colors. And I'm sure you could probably do wallpapers too.
Interior designers,
Yeah.
I'm very sorry because AI
They're
is taking
gonna
your
be-
job. There's no
right.
question. So,
Along with ours. And
well, ours too. But I mean, there's a little faster
yeah.
than ours.
Yeah. No.
What about, it's an underrated thing. A lot of people, like we've talked about in previous podcasts, Mike, when they're selling their house is personal. And they don't realize how much stuff they have in their house.
right.
So a do would
do
be to
declutter.
declutter. So,
And it's not, I'd say 80% of people getting ready to put their home on the market don't even realize what they're decluttering or what their clutter is. If you don't absolutely need it and you don't touch it every day and it's on the countertop, get rid of it, put it away, you're moving. Plain and simple.
move on.
And personalized items, pictures. Somebody coming in to view your home, they want to see their pictures, and you want them to think of their pictures in the home, not yours. So get rid of it, pack it up.
They want it to be their home.
Exactly.
To rephrase that, they
Right.
want it to vision their family. They don't want to realize that somebody else lived there before.
Right. And if there is an area of the home that does have to be cluttered, let it be the garage.
Yeah.
Put stuff in the garage. Let that be your storage area. Just pack it up, put it away if you're not using it on a daily basis. If it's something you can go the next month or so without, pack it up, put it away.
Lose the emotion.
Right.
It
right.
is no longer your home. It is being up for sale. You are done with that house. You're moving on to something else. The emotional side of it needs to go away.
Right.
You
And
have to get past
and
that
it
before
goes-
you put it for sale.
It goes for furniture too.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you have too much furniture in a room where you have a hard time navigating around all of it, okay, leave the sofa, leave a chair, put the other 2 chairs and table in the garage.
Get a storage unit. It costs
Right.
$110 a month, whatever it is.
Right,
It's
and you're
worth
going
it.
to sell the home faster and for more money
Mm-hmm.
if the home's properly staged. And yeah, and that's why you need a good agent to walk you through, say, hey, get rid of this, get rid of that. What do you have to have this or do you have to have that?
And I think another, as we mentioned, paint the door, curb appeal is a huge thing, but do not overdo
Right,
curb appeal. You don't want to invest all your energy
right.
into that. You have a backyard, you have other things in your home
Right.
that need to be touched, but the first vision is something that is very important.
Definitely, yeah. The front door,
Landscaping,
trim up the landscaping, just make it inviting.
power wash the driveway, maybe
Yes.
make it look nice, make
Yeah.
your home like I always tell people, and granted I don't sell too many homes anymore, it's not my gig, but in the past when I did do that, I always told people, when you first pulled up to this house to buy it, make it look like that when you were in love with that
Right.
house, and just like you would want the next house you're buying to look like
Absolutely.
that, vision that in your head.
Yeah,
So-
pot of flowers near the front door at the front walkway always gets attention and makes it inviting.
I agree.
So,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, go.
So that covers a little bit of the selling.
Yeah.
You know what, I want to ask something. As a seller, what's a do and don't when it comes to speaking to your agent?
So,
When No, I'm going to give away the obvious before you answer that. So
Okay.
the obvious is do disclose everything that you're supposed to disclose legally.
right.
Okay, that's not a don't. That is a do. Do
Right.
it. Don't ever break the law. Do something where you can never have something come back at you. But let's talk about, I know we've touched on this before, but do you tell your listing agent your financial situation? Do you care if it sells at this price, or do you need this price? What's going on with it? How honest do you expect that seller to be?
It is best to be open with your agent, have a great communication. So once again, when you're hiring an agent, you need to make sure you have a good rapport with them. And you do
And you
want to
trust them,
disclose,
because
you
you're not going to
trust
tell
them.
them your personal information if you don't trust them.
Right. It's best for your agent to know your situation, and so they can market your home properly. If you're truly in a situation where you don't have to sell, but you want to sell, great. But if you're in a situation where ultimately you have to sell, you're not going to be able to make those payments for too much longer, your agent needs to know so that you can get an aggressive plan of attack. Yeah, maybe start pricing at a little bit higher price
See if
point.
you can get it.
But have a plan of attack that once we reach a point in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months from now, if the house hasn't sold, you're getting into be in a hard spot. You have that plan of attack in place to get the home sold. And a must-do situation. Also, when it comes to disclosing any material facts of the home, and when I say material facts, any defects, any problems you've had, you can never over disclose. Always disclose, because ultimately it protects yourself. If you don't disclose those items, the buyer for your home can come back and sue you. So you're always better off over disclosing.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, you can just never go wrong by over disclosing. Keep in mind too, your agent that you're hiring works for you. Here in Nevada, we have a form called Duties Owed, where you as the buyer, or excuse me, you as the seller have to sign this document. It's not a contract, but it states your agent's obligations. They are obligated to keep everything regarding your personal situation confidential. However, they're also required to disclose any problems with the home that they know about or that they've learned through you, to disclose that to a potential buyer.
Absolutely.
So, and it's all designed to protect you, the seller, in both cases.
Okay.
So,
Well, thank you for that. I
that's-
think it's important because a lot of people don't put those things out there.
Right.
They really don't. They don't be honest with people, and it creates the lack of communication can create a lot of problems.
Right.
No matter which industry you're in. So,
And I can tell you from a broker's standpoint, I've been on the side twice now as a buyer broker, where the buyers have gone back and sued the sellers, and in both cases won because of something that was not disclosed.
there you go.
Yeah.
So disclose it all. Let's talk about buying. Okay, some of the do's and don'ts. So we talked about sellers doing upgrades.
Yes.
Let's talk about buyers doing new
Buyers.
construction, Mike, because there's
When-
an upgrade that you can do when you purchase your home.
Right. When you're buying new construction, and many builders will allow you to actually choose what you want to go into the home. Some builders, especially if you're buying a quick move-in, they don't. You have to take what they've already chosen. And 99.99% of the time, you don't have to worry about if the builder's already chosen. They know what's going to appraise and what's not. And that's where it can become an issue, though, is if you are adding your own upgrades, don't over upgrade. You need the house to appraise at the value if you're taking out a mortgage. If you're paying cash for it, by all means, you're not going to have an appraisal. Go to town, put in whatever you want. But if you are financing, you want to keep that upgrade amount to around 10%, even a little bit less of the total purchase price of the home. So if it's a $500,000 home, keep your upgrades at around $50,000 max.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the age-old story. You know, you have the nicest house on the block, and that's
Right.
good for when you go home and your neighbors come over,
Yeah.
and they all drool over your tile or this, but like when you go to sell it, it's just not worth that much.
Right.
It's the age-old tale.
And this is another important point of having an agent represent you when you buy new construction. If it's an established community where there's some homes where people are already living in, your agent can pull those sales as comparable sales, and you can see what they've actually sold for.
Right.
So you want to be in that same range.
And new construction, guys, a whole nother animal, really, but at the same time, do not over upgrade. And also, please consider backyard into that over upgrading thing, because a lot of people do that after closing, and that's great and whatever, but you're still overdoing it sometimes. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you have to really kick into
Right.
a lot of consideration.
If
that
you do
stuff.
plan on selling within the next couple of years, yeah,
Right. I
you
mean,
definitely
that could really hurt you.
don't do a $150,000 pool and a $100,000 deck and all
yeah,
that stuff.
the built-in barbecue, all
Right.
this, you're going to get
You're
50
not going to
grand
get
back,
that
you know?
money back on it.
Right.
So your upgrades definitely play a part into what your resale value.
So, you know, let's talk about, as a buyer, having realistic expectations.
Expectations, yes.
So, in my experience, you know, when you sell a house, you have gold, right? And when
Right.
you buy a house, it's dirt.
Yes.
That's the price point that everybody wants. It's just nature, it's business, it's
Yeah.
real estate. But as a consumer buying a home, you cannot have the expectation for a perfect house.
Right.
There's no such thing, even new construction.
Well, exact. You're right.
No such thing as a perfect
Yeah.
home. I mean, you cannot,
Well-
when you're buying a track home or something like that, it's very
Yes.
hard to get a perfect home.
Even if you're building a custom home, they say you need to build two to have the one you want.
That's correct. That's actually very true, because you need 2 years in there to find
Yes.
out what you're missing.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the expectations need to be there, and you also need to give and take.
Right.
As a buyer, you need to be able to understand that there are people on the other side looking for money too. I mean, so
No, and
give and take.
In addition, having concessions you're giving the seller, you have to give yourself concessions with what you're willing to accept in the home you're buying.
Right.
So you had your list of 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and the perfect backyard. Well, you found an amazing home that has all of that, except the backyard needs a little bit of work. Are you willing to make that concession because it's in the perfect location, close to your work, whatever the case may be? And there's got to be a little give and take before you even write that offer.
2 houses ago, I was looking for a house with 4 stipulations.
Yeah.
I wanted a certain neighborhood. I wanted a double oven. These are little things, I mean, to me, but a 3-car garage is a big deal to me,
Yeah.
and a pool.
Okay.
The house that I bought had the neighborhood,
Okay.
no double oven, no pool, and a 3-car garage. So I got 2 out of 4.
So you ultimately
But I built a pool,
determined
and I put a double oven in there.
right.
So-
Right. So you got 3 out of the 4 in the end,
4
but
out
you
of 4 in the
determined
end,
that
yeah.
that neighborhood was more important than those other 3 things.
Correct, that's what I
And
mean.
that's what you have to do, is you have to weigh what's more important, what are you willing to give on, what are you not willing to give on.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
you're good.
I was going to talk a little bit about financing because I get asked these things a lot. Or, doing this for so many years, you start realizing who's holding back sometimes in a conversation. They're not telling you everything. Number one, if you're in the middle of a loan, this is like number one. Do not buy anything expensive. Do not charge up your credit cards. Do not do anything. I get asked this once a month, maybe, minimum.
Right.
Sometimes more. I want to buy appliances. They're offering 0%. It's a Labor Day weekend sale, or oh, my car's about to die, or whatnot. And they got a great sale. You're buying a home. You better, if you're going to buy something, you better check with whoever's doing your loan first. Do not go and celebrate and spend more money. Last thing you need to do. So,
Absolutely. No, it's don't take out any new credit, use up all your existing credit. You want to keep everything the same for that 30, 45, 60-day process
Whatever
that
it
you're
may
doing
be.
your mortgage.
correct.
So yeah, don't let anything change during that time that might send up a red flag. Unless if you're purchasing a home way below under what you can afford, on occasion, it can sometimes work out. I remember we had a situation a
Check with
couple
your
years
bank.
ago. Yeah.
Check with your loan officer.
Yeah.
I had somebody not that long ago. They said, I need to buy a car.
Yeah.
I said, okay. They go, will it affect my house? If not, I'll just go rent one for a couple
Right.
weeks, whatever I have to do. And this person qualified so well. I go, you can go get a $2,000 car payment and it wouldn't matter for your loan.
Right.
All I had to do was write a letter explaining it. That was
Okay.
it. And that person went out, but they weren't spending that kind of money, but
Right.
they wanted a $400
No,
car
I
payment.
think that was a joint client of ours.
Very well could have been. Actually, I remember you telling me you told him
and
what?
I had
you told
a
him what?
little bit of a heart attack when he told me he was buying a car.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, and that client qualified, no problem.
Yeah.
So, and that goes back to just, when you're doing your loan, it is important to trust who does your loan. I don't care if it's a guy in a cubicle somewhere, or girl, I should say, or it's your trusty loan officer
Right.
that you've done for generations in your family. You need to just tell them. You need to explain to
Right.
them what you're trying to do, so that way they can help you and tell you the do's and don'ts on the financing side.
Right.
Which is so important that I've noticed that people trust their realtor more than their loan officer.
Right.
And it's weird because the loan officer has your social, your bank account, your credit report, your employment history. They have everything about you.
Right.
And maybe that's why they don't trust them.
Well, it also comes to knowledge. And something really important is if you're using Space Age Mortgage, where it's the guy in the cubicle just running your numbers, they may not have the knowledge to tell you it's okay to buy a car or not. They just, once again, vet anybody you're working with.
Okay.
That's all.
So I get asked this all the time on behalf of realtors, family members, whomever it may be. And I know your answer to this, but I have to bring it up. So you had a minor repair in a house. Nobody will ever find out. You completely fixed it. No big deal.
Right.
Do you disclose it?
What did I say earlier? You can't over-disclose.
Okay, but now your
So,
SRPD,
your
let's play
right.
devil's advocate here.
Oh, right.
Your SRPD is this long. It's going to scare somebody too.
So I'm
Might
gonna,
even scare the bank that's doing the financing.
as an agent, listing agent, you tell me this. My first question is, how long ago was it? If it was 10 years ago and it was fixed by a licensed, reputable
And it was like a
company,
GFI or something. Yeah, something small.
Right. I'm like, first off, how do you even remember that?
Right, I agree. Right.
And if it's one of those situations, we will probably skip by it.
But mold in an attic or leaky roof, don't care if it was 10 years ago, you need to put it on there, right?
Correct, absolutely. If it's a true defect where something truly gave way, yes, it needs to be disclosed.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I just, That question gets asked a lot.
Yeah.
And just
It
it's
does.
human nature too to say, it's fine. It's no big deal. I fixed it a long time ago. I even forgot about it or whatnot. Who knows?
Right.
And I'm a weirdo. Is when I sell a
And-
house, I actually pass off the receipts.
Well,
Nobody does
and
that.
me as your agent, please, if you have receipts, give them to me.
Here you go.
I'm going to give them to our buyer.
You know what? You cannot hang on me for not disclosing at this
Right.
point. You just didn't do your diligence
and-
because here's every receipt
and I
did.
got to tell you, buyers love that.
Why wouldn't you?
If that is an absolute due.
I agree.
Yeah.
So now you might need to save them or make copies of them for your capital gains if you have
Right.
that. But
Right.
if you don't need them, whatever it is, or make copies of them for the consumer, because again, it's a trust thing. It would eliminate lawsuits. It helps your liability. It helps protect
Definitely.
you as a seller.
Definitely.
So
And buyers love to see that you were maintaining the home, you were putting money into it.
Yes.
Not just making it look good to sell.
correct. Correct.
So yeah, over time, you have those receipts, provide them.
Right. No, that's good.
So yeah, no, that's great. One thing, once you're in escrow, buyer, this is for buyers. This is a do and a don't. What you do want to do when you're in escrow, you have family, they want to see the house, you're excited, we get that.
Ooh, good one. I know where you're going.
You want to go see the house again. Number one, if the house is occupied, you have to respect there are people still living there. As your agent, of course we're going to try and get you in, but don't expect it.
Not
a lot
twice
of times,
a week, once a week. You're not
yeah.
going in there all the time.
If
You're
it's
just not.
vacant,
Sure.
there's usually a little more leeway, and we can usually make it happen. Even sometimes then though, I've run into issues where somebody's out of town with the key, stuff like that. It can be a little difficult. But so when you're looking at the home, when you're there for the home inspection, take a video and take your pictures then. that
Do
you
your
could show the
room
family.
measurements.
Do your room
Big
measurements.
deal.
Yes.
Because you have
Yes.
couches, you have furniture, you want to
Right.
buy things, you want to make plans. Do your room
Right.
measurements at the home inspection. You got 2-3 hours in that house where you can
Right.
sit there and do it.
Right. A lot of times sellers can be accommodating for buyers, but a lot of times they don't want to be. And
No.
they can't be forced to show you the home once a week just because you want to and you're
And
excited about buying it.
And I've noticed that in Las Vegas especially. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. See, where I grew up in back east in Cleveland, Ohio area, you know, sellers and buyers will work together a lot.
Right.
You know, maybe it was a timing thing too. It was 25 years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
here I've noticed that they really don't like to be any bit personal. I had a buyer one
Right.
time I sold a house and I walked him through everything I did to the house.
Yeah.
Just full disclosure, whatever. And then he had his home inspection after and he found a couple other things and he was insulted. He thought I was trying to undermine him. And I was just trying to be a nice human being and say, this is what I've done to the property, you're going to take it over. So you know
Right.
when, why, and how it was done. But he took it the other way, that I was trying to hide things, which is insane to me, but that's the world we live in.
And I will tell you, when we as agents and brokers, we take continuing education classes to keep our licenses up, we are constantly told, don't let your buyers and sellers commingle, mix, or even meet each other. And here on the West Coast, that's normal. On the East Coast, when everybody sits together at the closing table,
Yeah.
we find that so foreign here. But I can tell you, in any situation where I've had the buyer and seller actually meet, it works out great.
It usually does.
It usually does. Yeah. I had one instance, this was many years ago, but there were a lot of problems with the pool. And my buyer got to meet the seller, and if it wasn't for that personal relationship and that common goal that they had of the property changing hands, I truly feel that that property would not have closed escrow.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
A lot of times the buyer is scared because an inspector,
Exactly.
you know, they over-inspect sometimes, and you know, but that's their job. That's what you're paying them to do in their defense.
And it came down to the seller was willing to make the repairs because she pictured the buyer's kids being out at that pool in the
But
summer.
maybe without that conversation and that communication,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened because
Right.
the buyer's scared. Not that the seller was probably already willing to do that, but the buyer might have got shook.
Right.
You know, so I agree. I think that's
No,
it's awesome,
it
but
became,
maybe towards the end.
it was
it's
truly the buyer and seller wanting to make it happen together. And then, Yeah, something happened with the sellers movers at the very end that caused a whole nother situation where it could have totally blown up had they not had that personal bond.
There's another reason. Absolutely. I mean, things happen. You know, again,
Yeah.
we're dealing with human beings. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
So,
We appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, put your questions in the comments. We're here to answer your questions. We've got a couple great episodes coming up over the next few weeks, and we're excited to get those to you. So thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Like, subscribe. It's absolutely free to do. And we look forward to seeing you again.
until next time. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Welcome to the chat where the deals get done. Real estate tips and a whole lot of fun. Think different, achieve your goals. Real estate simplified.